Hello, my friends, and it is your friend Tactical MGTOW coming to you. And today I want to talk about a very important topic which is very close to my heart, which is dealing with the allure of women. Yes, exactly, dealing with the allure of women and how I manage this allure of women and few of my tactics I would suggest to manage this allure of women. Okay, so first things first, I'm not a MGTOW monk. I love women. I love the company of women. I know I'm very red pill, but other than that, I would love to bang once in a while in 10 days, or maybe 10 in one day. It depends on my mood. But I'm exaggerating, but sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes women, they want to bang like 10 girls in one day. But you know what? I completely understand why women have this kind of crazy allure towards these women, and why we are so drawn to them. Okay, so I'm gonna make some generalizations so to make this easy. But here I categorize mostly the MGTOW men as four types, or just broadly four types who are still struggling with the allure of women, right? This is respect to who are still struggling with allure of women. So the number one is the MGTOW monk, and they don't want to do anything with any woman. They don't even want to talk to them. They're basically social hermits. They just live with them. They don't even want to work with women. And I kind of respect these men because this is the hardest thing to do. And I completely understand. Okay, this is the first one, which is the MGTOW monk, and number two is what I call is MGTOW sex is all I want. Okay, so here for these men, sex is incredibly important, right? And especially that physical touch or physical contact with a woman is very, very important, and we cannot live without it. And this is where I fall. And for these guys, they don't really need too much female validation, little to none female validation. Okay, so this is the number two. Now the number three is MGTOW who loves sex and also likes female validation. Okay, so for them, yes, sex is great and all that, but they also want female validation, right? They've chosen to go on MGTOW, but they're still struggling and they still want female validation. So MGTOWs who love sex, plus they want female validation. Now what? This is the third type, right? And then there's type number four. For these men, they don't want sex as much, but for them, the need for female validation is very, very high. And this is the fourth type. And they love female validation, consciously or unconsciously. They love female validation more than sex. Okay, this was weird when I met these men, but you know what? We all are weird in ways, and but at the end of the day, we all are MGTOW. We are not gonna have a long-term relationship with any woman, and we are not gonna live in or get married to any woman. So that's how I consider who we are, MGTOW, and all of these men are MGTOWs. But these are our needs, man, and we are humans. We have our needs. Sometimes we want to get our dick wet. Okay, ladies, this is what we want sometimes. Okay, so I live in Southeast Asia. What a nice place. A nice place to be. And so I mostly live in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore. I hop around. And the beautiful thing about Southeast Asia is they have outlets for these four types of men. They have every possible outlet for these four types of men. Okay. Let's talk about sex is all I want. So I'm going to start with number two, which is MGTOW who loves sex and physical contact a lot. Okay, so for them, I would suggest I'll go in the way which I use the tactics. Okay, so number one, the most safest is masturbation, porn, or using erotica, or watching erotic movies, or reading erotic books. Okay, this is the safest bet. You don't have any risk. So you can just masturbate and get it done over with. Okay, but if you still don't want to use your hand, and you want something hands free, you can always get sex toys, right? Even though sex toys are banned in most of the Asian countries other than Singapore, you can still find sex toys. It's kind of illegal, but you can still find them, and it's not so strictly regulated. So you can find them on the streets. There are people vendors selling them, and at least you don't have to use your hands anymore, and it feels a little bit better. Then depends on the quality of the toy, but that is what it is. And you have flashlights. You now even have like ass or boobs, silicone stuff, and they even have full-fledged dolls. So whatever fits your boat, gentlemen, whatever fits your boat, floats your boat, just do that. Okay, number 3 is dating. Okay, so you can do basic dating, just learn the basic rules of dating, or do entry-level PUA, or just the basic PUA. You can use apps like Tinder, Bumble, etc. Happen, and just date these women and pump and dump. Okay, but just I'm gonna give you a warning, right? You can still get a lot of 6s and 7s and 8s, but don't fall for the PUA marketing trap that you can get laid every day with 9s and 10s. That's just not realistic, and the amount of time you have to pay, spend on these things, after some time it doesn't there isn't any more return on investment, right? So for me, I'm like a guy who would be like happy to have sex with a 7 or 8 on a regular basis, and 9s and 10s are great, but if I'm not getting them regularly, do hell with it. So this is what I say of the PUA trap. So just be careful of the PUA trap. Yes, some PUA tactics work, but after some times it just doesn't give any more return on investment unless you are very, very good looking, or you've got like incredible social skills. It's very difficult to get consistent 9s and 10s, but you can still get a lot of 6s and 7s and 8s, and you know what, that is good enough for me. Yeah. Okay, so this is the dating, and then of course if you want to pay for it, you can pay for it. Asia is very well known for these things, or notoriously known for these things, for safe sex. Okay, we have massage parlors everywhere in Southeast Asia. Even in Indonesia, which is like a Muslim country, you still have massage parlors. Okay, so you can find them. Just Google massage parlors in whichever city you are in. If you're in Singapore, Malaysia, you will find it on the internet. All the information is there. Just Google massage parlors or happy ending. You will find them. So mostly in these massage parlors is the girls will give you a massage and they will give you a happy ending. That's code word for hand job. And sometimes you're lucky, you might get a BJ, but most of the time you just get a HJ. Okay, so just Google it, and I think it's very, very safe, and there are no risks. So yeah, I think that's the safest one. And the good thing about some of these massage parlors, at least what I found in Thailand and Vietnam, is the girls let you touch you, right? So they would let you touch them, and it depends on what kind of girl she is, but most of the girls would let you touch them over their shirts or over their clothes, and some would even let you touch them on their skin, or just take off their bra, or just slide down their dress a little bit so you can see and touch where you want, right? I find this is the safest and the best way, and it's just the best return on investment for me. Okay, now the next one, what you can do is you can find a gold digger or a sugar baby. If you're not aware what a sugar baby is, just Google it. It's basically the girls who are university students, and they want money. Basically, you pay them for the studies or for their lifestyle, and they are like your girlfriend. Basically, they're like your fuck buddies, but they're like your girlfriend, and just pay for their lifestyles and just keep them. And there are plenty of gold diggers and these sugar babies in Southeast Asia. Plenty people think Southeast Asian women are very down to earth. Oh boy, what a wrong misconception you have. Yes, of course, there's like 1% or 5% women who are like that. Most of them are gold digger, superficial women, just like your Western counterparts. The only thing they're really good at is trying to act submissive in the beginning of the relationship. But you can always find gold diggers and sugar babies. And if you have a lot of money and for you, your time is more valuable than your money. Why not get a sugar baby? It's so good, man. It's so good. So you just pay for the finances, and they're like your girlfriend. So you can have sex with them, take them on dates, and blah blah blah. And you can have the female companionship as well. It solves all the problems. Okay, I think if you have the money, that's the best. Gold diggers and sugar babies. Okay, next one is obviously paying for it, and Thailand is notoriously known for it, but it's everywhere. Even in Indonesia, it's there. You can always find women at these pubs and discos, and you can bring them home. Just pay for them and get it done. I'm personally not in favor of that, and I do not recommend that. But you know what, if you really want to do this, and sometimes I feel for some people their time is much more valuable than the money, and they have a lot of money, to just throw it on these girls, and just bring them home, get them done with, and bye bye in the morning. So I understand some people can find this ethically wrong, but you know what, I find some of these girls do it willingly. They're not forced into it. And also, you can do whatever fits your morality, right? You don't have to have sex with them. Like, you can just get a hand job and be done with it. Right? Whatever floats your boat, gentlemen. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, so this is dealing with the guys of type number 2. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the type number 3 and 4. For these men, obviously they like sex very much, but they like female validation more than they like sex, or subconsciously or unconsciously they like female validation a lot, and they love female company, right? So I still don't understand why some men would call them MGTOW when they still want female validation. But you know what? They're like, MGTOW is all encompassing. We welcome everyone. So if you are like that, that's fine. So number 1 type is online dating. Use online dating. Just put on some good pictures. Hit the gym, get some good pictures, and use Thai Cupid, Tinder, Bumble, Happen, and you'll get a lot of these women hitting you up for dates and stuff, and you can take them on dates and get all the female validation you want from them, to spend money on them. And yeah, it's always better than throwing money on these YouTuber girls and these webcam girls. I find real life is much better this way. Okay, and another thing, then there are websites where you can actually pay for dates, right? It's kind of becoming popular in US and in Australia, where there are websites where you pay women to go on dates with you, which is weird, but you know what, you can still get the female validation, and the date generally lasts like 30 minutes to an hour, and you just talk about something and nothing and just go away. And yeah, if it works for you, man, just do it. Okay, the number 3 type is like webcam girls, and they're still not real, they're still virtual, but they're webcam girls who will do what you want if you just pay them, and they will do whatever things on the camera you ask them to. Some men like that, and for some men it might be great, but for most of us, and we really prefer the real thing. Okay, so the most popular option is the hostess bars. And what is a hostess bar? A hostess bar is a place where there's little to no touching. Basically, the girls, they're like the waitresses, or they just sit with you and drink drinks with you, and so there's no sex there, but there is some touching involved. It depends which country you're in and like which type of bar it is, but in like mostly in Thailand, they'll let you touch you, hold you, hug them, and they'll be like your girlfriend there, and they'll dance with you, and sometimes if you get lucky, they'll let you do a little bit hanky panky, touch them here and there, and yeah, and that's what they like. And I used to wonder about like why people would go there. Like, you're not even getting laid. And the first time I went there, I was like very young. I was in my early 20s, and I'm like, why would guys spend money on it? But now I understand that. Now I've got a little bit older. I understand like a lot of married men or divorced guys, they don't get any attention from women. And here in hostess bars, the women are so nice. Like they will give you attention, they'll pamper you, they'll compliment you, they'll listen intently to all your issues, to your problems. And 90% of these girls are amazing hostesses. They know how to keep men interested, and they'll keep talking to you. Some of them are not the best, but 90% of them are. And even though it's fake, they're doing it for the money, but sometimes it just feels real. And I recommend that for hostess bars if you're really craving for female company. The drinks are bloody expensive. Sometimes it can even get more expensive than going to a massage parlor. If you buy just a couple of drinks for you and for the girl, the bill will be more than just going to a massage parlor. But you know what, if you want that and attention, that's the best place. Okay, hostess bars. Now the next option is karaoke bars, right? On these karaoke bars, there are some karaoke bars where there will be like 2-3 girls who will sit with you. You will also have to buy them drinks. They'll sing one by one. They'll give attention. It's like a fun night. They will sing, you will sing. And there are some karaoke bars where you get your own booth. It's a little bit expensive, and you can have 1 or 2 girls in there. So normally people bring their friends, but in some of the karaoke bars they have karaoke girls, and they will sit with you. And sometimes if you get lucky, you might even get some action on the side. But here the girls give you attention, they have fun with you, they sing with you, and it's a kind of good way to have female company and have fun. Okay, and then the final type is strip clubs slash hostess bars. But there are different type of hostess bars. If you have been to Bangkok or any other city like that in Indonesia and Jakarta, you can see that there are some hostess bars where women actually take off their clothes but on the stage, and it's like a strip club, but when they will also sit with you and they drink with you. But when they sit and drink with you, they don't take off their clothes. So yeah, so here you can pay them for give them money, and they'll do some dance or something, and you can just have a good time, have a ball. And sometimes in some of these strip clubs, they will let you take the girl out, and you can. And sometimes you can just ask for the phone numbers and get their numbers, and take them on dates outside. And sometimes if you get lucky, you might get some action as well. So this is the way for validation, right? So most of us MGTOW men, I believe we fall more on the side where we have like 80% need for physical needs, and we have like 20% of this validation need, right? This is most of the MGTOW, and I personally, and but we all are getting there. It's hard and it's not easy to be there. But if you're a MGTOW monk, there are also places for you. There are temples, there are gardens, there are meditation retreats everywhere in Southeast Asia. So if you want to be a monk, if you want to just go on your path of your spirituality, your calling, your purpose, whatever it is, you have plenty of temples everywhere. You have plenty of churches, gardens, and meditation retreats and whatnot. And if you're going this way, there are so many people, there are so many meetup groups. You can be part of that. I know some people who are like MGTOW monks. One guy is like a personal trainer, another guy is like a stand-up comedian, and people like that, right? And these guys are doing so well, and I'm so happy for them. I aspire to be like them, but I find it so hard because my biological drive is so high. I want to mate with a woman, and that's weird. So these are my tactics for dealing with them. And but what I felt, how I got over my need for validation, is to fix my self-esteem. So I had to look down deep on my dark sides of my life. I worked with a coach and a counselor. I also read a book called 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. I would recommend you guys, every one of you MGTOW, to read that, because society has brainwashed us into believing we need someone else, especially a woman, to fulfill our emotional or validation needs, whatever. But the thing is, you can be fulfilled by yourself. If you read this book, implement the exercises, or if you work with a coach or a counselor, you can completely let go of this need of validation. And I completely respect the man, and I know we all of us men are on different journeys, but you know what, we have the tactics, we have the support, we have the community, and we will go far. MGTOW for life, man. Go out there, enjoy, use the money for yourself, use your time for yourself, and have fun, and take care, guys. If you have any more questions, put them down in the comments below, and I will love hearing from you. Take care, guys. Cheers. Bye.